Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Venerable Chief Reverend, Venerable Sir, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday regular Dhamma talk. Today we are continuing the faculties, the 5 faculties or the Pañca Indriya. We talk about this topic for 2 weeks now. Last week we talked about the faculty of Saddha, the Saddha Indriya or the faculty of faith. Today we are continuing with the faculty of energy. In Pali it is called Virya, energy. Now this is a supportive factor for the main faculties to grow up, for the main faculties to develop. Out of these 5 faculties of faith, energy, concentration, mindfulness and wisdom, the chief faculties are the faculties of concentration and wisdom, which hastens one's approach, one's reach to Nibbana. Now, faculty of energy is supporting these 2 faculties of Pañca, wisdom and concentration to flourish and develop. So keep in mind that these are assisting faculties to develop Pañca, the faculty of wisdom, and concentration, faculty of Samadhi. So energy, Virya. Once upon a time there was a merchant. He was born into the merchant clan and he was so clever at his job. He became the head of a group of merchants who traded, who did business by carrying goods from one destination to another place and sell them with the profit. There were 500 carts in this group of chariots that they were bringing goods from one place to another. And most of the times in their travels they had to face hostile conditions like deserts, the Sahara. Sahara desert was such a hostile condition for all travelers that they couldn't travel in the daytime because the sandy land of this Sahara was so torturously hot in the daytime. The fine powder-like sand becomes burning charcoal-like condition, like situation, that nobody can walk on that sand during the day. So only at night they can travel when the sand is cooler. So it was like a sea voyage. There was a particular person to lead these chariots, these people across the Sahara to the destination. It was so difficult. So this particular person, he is the desert pilot who is sitting in the front cart, leading that front cart so that the other carts following him to the direction he is leading. He looks at the sky. The stars are the guidelines that he finds to bring this group of carts across the desert. For days and days they have to travel like this. So one day, after weeks of traveling in the desert, this desert pilot found that they are supposed to reach the village to the end of the desert by next day. By next day morning, they will be out of the desert. For days he was not sleeping. Only 7 to 8 miles to go on. So his tension was gone. Now he can relax. So he was sitting in the front cart, and since he was not so tense about this journey anymore, because the stars are telling him that your endeavor is over, you can reach to the destination by next morning, he was kind of happy. In this light and happy mood, he fell asleep. And the oxen who was carrying this front cart, now leaderless, guideless, what did they do was, they returned to the same place by morning by following the same track that they traveled so far. They returned to the same place that they left. By morning, when he woke up, he understood his grave mistake. That is a dangerous mistake, lethal mistake. They could die now. Because yesterday, before they leave, they threw away the extra water, the extra firewood. Now they have no water to survive under the scorching sun, which is dehydrating the body so fast. You need water. And all of them, the people, thousands of people were there leading these 500 carts. They were all dejected. They were lamenting. They made this cart a circle and put a canopy, and they plunged themselves underneath the carts. Now they are so scared and so worried whether they are going to survive or not that day, without water, in the middle of a desert. While everybody was dejected, sad, depressed about the condition, the leader, the one who is responsible for their safe crossing of the desert, he took the responsibility to his hand. He is such a leader who is capable of accepting his faults and trying to correct that mistake and to overcome the trouble. This is the ideal leader. The leader is not someone who do not be responsible, who doesn't responsible for his own mistakes. He accepted his own mistakes, and now he has the determination to correct his mistake. So he was pacing up and down, thinking of a way to get out of this problem. And he saw a clump of kusa trees in a certain place. Then he understood, he thought, without water there cannot be this kind of clump of kusa trees. There must be water underneath. So he got the people, he summoned them and asked them to dig this place underneath this clump of kusa trees, and they were digging for 60 cubits of sand was removed, yet ultimately they hit the rock bottom. The spade they were digging hit the rock bottom, and they were all gravely disappointed. They thought it is over. Now we are more tired and no water. We are for sure to die. While everybody is dejected, while everybody gave up the struggle to survive, this leader still is not ready to give up. He climbed down to the hole and put his ears to the stones, that stony surface. Then he heard a flow of water underneath this stony surface. He climbed up and asked a young man to get a sledgehammer and hit this stony surface with all his might. Young man did that, and there was a fountain of water sprang up so high, and they were all so happy because of one man's unremitting attitude to not to give up. His unremitting, non-giving up, unsurrendering energy saved these thousands of men. This is the way the Bodhisattva, prior to his enlightenment, cultivated his quality of energy. In whatever venture he was applying, he was into, he never gave up. this energy was persisting, continuing until he found the desired, aspired goal, the aspired expectation. So lifetime to lifetime he was developing this energy, and in the last lifetime, as the Bodhisattva, as the Buddha to be, he left his household life, he left his princely life, went into the forest, was practicing, went from one teacher to another, no result. As he was certain in that life as a young man, merchant, as he was certain there must be water underneath this clump of kusa grass, his certainty never changed, even though he found a rock bottom. He was sure there must be water, and he found it ultimately. In the same manner, for 6 years, Bodhisattva was practicing. Went from teacher to teacher, looking for the path, looking for the technique to get the final, ultimate, everlasting liberation. But no one could grant him that desired, that expected goal. All their practices stopped halfway. By stopping halfway, they thought they have reached to the goal. But Bodhisattva is someone cannot be satisfied easily. He understood this interruption in the middle, in the halfway, is not the goal. Permanent liberation from suffering is somewhere far away. So he gave up following the teachers and he started applying a certain popular practice at that time, which is called Atta Kilamatanu Yoga, the self-tormentation. And he practiced it to the ultimatum, to the ultimate level he practiced. And he found what? No liberation. No liberation. Rock bottom. Even the most popular practice at that time couldn't give him the liberation. It is the rock bottom. Nowhere to go. But still, he is not giving up. His energy is not allowing him to give up. He just went into a new path, new technique. And in that new technique, which nobody has ever tried, he found that liberation. If he did not have that energy, he would have given up like the others in the halfway. We would not have a Buddha today if he did not have such an unremitting, non-compromising energy within the Bodhisattva. Such energy paved the way for him to attain the enlightenment. And Buddha asked us, if you are desirous, if you are aspiring to attain that liberation that I have attained, you have to have this faculty within you. This faculty, the Indriya. I have explained to you, Indriya is the one who master the authority, lordship over other factors. So when you have that energy wield the lordship over other mental factors, and all the mental factors are directed or led where the energy is moving into. That's how the energy, the virya, becomes a faculty. When the concomitant mental factors all directed into one particular direction where the energy is showing them, directing them. That's how we know that energy has become a faculty within us. Now, this energy is in different manner, different divisions. The first division is Kayika Virya, physical energy, and Manasika Virya, mental energy, psychological energy. Now physically, we must be strong. Physical strength must be there for our practice. That's why in certain schools of Buddhism, they introduce all sorts of exercises for the monastics to do. These exercises are meant to strengthen their physical power, physical energy, so that when they practice, they can practice properly. They can practice to gain the expected goal of spirituality. The Kung Fu came into this world based on those physical exercises that those monks in China applied to their spiritual development for the sake of developing their physical strength, Kung Fu. And all sorts of other martial arts, systems of martial arts came into the world because of the practices of those monks at temples to strengthen themselves. The root for those martial arts are nothing but the application of exercises for the sake of physical strength. This physical strength for what? Physical strength is for the sake of developing the mental strength, spiritual, psychological strength. Now, out of these physical energy and mental energy, to the story of 5 faculties, or at large 37 enlightenment factors, only the mental strength is applied, included, not the physical strength. Physical strength is just a supportive factor. Right? Now for the children, this is something you have to develop, you got to develop in your life. Physically you must be strong. At the same time, you have to be strong mentally. When you are balanced in these two extremes, two polarities, physical and mental, that balance should be happened in the strength-wise. The strength should be equal. If you are physically strong, yet mentally weak, then you are imbalanced. You are not in the equilibrium. You are not balanced. The balance happens when you are equally strong physically and mentally. Now this mental energy, manasika virya, is twofold. Kusala virya indriya, akusala virya indriya. Unwholesome energy faculty, wholesome energy faculty. Now of course unwholesome is something that we cannot include in the 37 enlightenment factors. Only the wholesome. So it means sometimes we develop our energy to gain something unwholesome, something not nutritious for our spiritual development. This unwholesome energy is also an energy, yet that energy is destructive. So in the story, in the episode of 5 faculties, only the wholesome energy, which is nutritious for the spirituality, is included. So now this is the second division. First division was physical energy, mental energy. Mental energy is twofold, wholesome, unwholesome. Yeah. And again this wholesome energy is twofold. Pakati virya, the natural energy, and bhavana virya, the meditative energy, or the energy that is intentionally developed. These are the two types of energy belong to the wholesome energy faculty, kusala virya indriya. Now we all have certain kind of energy which is inborn, which has arisen in us with the birth. It is there. The energy is there. Now this energy is different from one person to another. It doesn't matter how different it is. Lord Buddha considered that energy as something weak. Weak energy. Not strong enough to continue one's practice on the supramundane path. For example, you may have the energy to do dana. Still that energy is weak. You may have the energy to go to temple, offer flowers to Buddha, observe 5 precepts, chant some sutras, offer some light to the Buddha, and even observe precepts. And even to initiate meditation. Start meditating. You may have that energy. And yet they are weak. Why they are weak? Because this energy is not supporting for you to continue your meditation. Meditation to continue. You must be equipped with a strong energy. Why? In the meditation, when you close your eyes and go within you, it is like entering into a room, sometimes to which you have never entered. There must be full of cobwebs, full of all sorts of insects, animals, serpents, dangerous places, and moreover it is full of darkness. Now, to stay in this room full of darkness, searching for a light in this room, searching for a light, maybe a flashlight, maybe a candle, searching for it, you have to stay in this room. Are you willing to do that? Or your will is to run away from this room, get out of this room. Most of the time, people are willing to run away from that room, not to go into the room, to deal with all those horrible, ugly, dangerous, fearsome, all sorts of difficulties, and at the same time finds a light within, light in that room. It's not something that many people will be preferable, desirous of doing. They would rather run away from that room and forget about it completely. With the weak energy, when people enter into meditation, close their eyes, shut down themselves from the rest of the world, be totally themselves, forget the rest of the world, forget even the physical body. It is just like entering into a dark room, full of dangers, full of unpleasantries, full of insects, full of nightmares, bad memories, memories that you want to forget. All these, your deposits are there in that room. And you are trying to find a light in that room. You must be equipped with a very powerful energy, or else you run away. That's why many people run away. Only a handful of people will continue. Only a handful. Thousands will run away. That's why we are with the Prakriti Virya, the original or the natural energy. And that natural energy must be developed, must be strengthened. Gradually, little by little, this natural energy we have must be developed physically and mentally. When we are developing them, that developed energy will support us to continue our practice. In this continuity of our practice, we do two kinds of development. One is mundane, the other is supramundane. In the mundane level, we develop the concentration on the fine material jhanas and the immaterial jhanas. We develop that concentration. And then after that, with that strength of the concentration, we move into vipassana, we move into the insight meditation. We develop on the supramundane aspect to reach to the goals, to reach to the paths and fruition of the supramundane. Long way to go. But this long way can be covered with the energy we have within us, unremitting, non-giving up, unsurrendering energy will guide us. Now on the supramundane side, Buddha usually doesn't talk about vipassana when he talks about energy. He says, with your energy, you suppress or you do not allow to arise the unarisen, unwholesome energies. Now if there is something unwholesome which has not arisen in you yet, in this development of the faculty of energy, you suppress or you do not allow to arise those unarisen defilements, unarisen, unwholesome. That is the first direction that you apply energy in the supramundane. You must need a strong energy for that, because unwholesome is something natural within us. Wholesome arise in the absence of unwholesome. If the unwholesome, akusala, is dominant within us, wholesome is not that powerful. And in comparison to the wholesome, unwholesome is the most powerful. For example, anger. Has anybody taught you how to get angry? When to get angry? The way of getting anger? Nobody has ever taught you that. Everybody is teaching about love, how to be loving, how to be unconditionally loving. Everybody is teaching about love. No one taught you anger. But when these two emotions arise in us, what is the most powerful one? All and everybody equally experience that the anger is the most strong one, most powerful one, in comparison to the love. Love can be so fragile. Anger is so strong, like a tsunami, overpowering, dominating. Uncontrollable anger arises in us. Unpredictably it arises and it overwhelms us. We are enslaved by that anger. We are controlled by that anger. This is just a one fraction, one side of the unwholesome. So unwholesome is original, powerful and strong. Now can you stop arising these unwholesome? You must need a very strong energy for that. So if somebody is capable of thwarting, stopping this arising of unwholesome, it means he has the faculty of energy within him. He himself can judge, can understand, can get to know about it. He is capable of getting to know about his own faculty of energy with the capability of suppressing the unarisen, unwholesome. The second one, getting rid of pushing away, removing or eliminating the arisen wholesome, arisen unwholesome, arisen unwholesome. For example, the same one, anger, when it arises in you, as it arises, are you capable of getting rid of it? Are you capable of removing it? Are you capable of overpowering it? How much you are capable of, that much will be your faculty of energy within you. This is the second one. The third one, the ability, the energy to give birth for the unarisen wholesome. If you understand, I don't have this wholesome quality within me. I must generate that wholesomeness within me. If you are capable of generating it, how fast you can do it, how powerfully you can do it is based on your faculty of energy. That's the third one. The fourth one is flourishing, developing, enhancing the virtues, the wholesomeness you have already within you. Whatever wholesomeness you have, can you flourish them? Can you develop them? You have a certain kind of love, compassion, patience, fairness, shame to do bad, fear to do bad. Beautiful virtues are there. Sometimes you are born with them, but you must need the energy, the virya to flourish them, to develop them, to enhance them. Or else you will die just the way you were born, without developing any kind of virtues within you, without enhancing any kind of wholesomeness within you. You are dying just the way you are born. So when there is a beautiful quality within you, you must have the energy to develop them without letting them diminish, but developing them. Develop your compassion, develop your love, develop your patience. That development also based on your energy virya. So these four manner Buddha has introduced us for the sake of measuring ourselves about the strength of the faculty of energy that we have within us. To suppress the unarisen, unwholesome, to eliminate the arisen, unwholesome, to give birth for the unarisen, wholesome, to develop the arisen, wholesome. These four factors, these four aspects are the criteria, testing grounds for us to judge ourselves about the energy that we have. And practicing on these four aspects is the practicing of vipassana, nothing else. In vipassana we do the same. In vipassana we remove the unwholesomeness and we develop the wholesomeness based on these four aspects. Yeah. So the energy, virya. Sometimes bodhisattvas are so absorbed in these four aspects of the virya, they develop virya so powerfully, they are called viryadhika bodhisattvas. The bodhisattvas, Buddhas to be, who are mainly into the practice of energy. But practicing on the energy is not the short path to enlightenment. It is a long way to go. It is a further, it goes further to attain Nibbana only when somebody practice on the energy. So virya is a supportive factor for the pañca to arise, the wisdom to arise. If someone needs to just go into the virya, energy, without applying wisdom on it, that energy itself is not capable of liberating him. That energy is not enough. So that energy must be a facilitating factor for the vipassana to arise or the pañca to arise, the wisdom to arise. It should be the facilitating factor. So that's why in these five faculties, pañca, wisdom and samadhi, concentration, are the main categories, are the main goals. Saddha, faith or confidence, virya, the energy, and mindfulness also, sati, are supportive factors for the pañca and samadhi to arise. Yeah. So that's what I mentioned about the energy today. This energy as a faculty in the five faculties is something that you should all practice, develop for the permanent liberation, for the ultimate liberation. With that, we finish this Dhamma talk for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's dedicate all these merits to devas and departed ones. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu lokasasanam. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanam. Akasattha cha bummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chiran rakhantu mam paranti. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Idang me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātayo. Blessings for you. Dukkaroga bhayavera soka sabbe upaddava anekantaraya pi vinassantu ca tejasa Jaya siddhi dhanang labhang sotti bhagyan sukham balang Siriyayu ca vanno ca bhogang buddhi ca yasava Satavassa ca ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu me Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha Ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.